You stand at the edge of a narrow coastal path as the last light of day softens into twilight. The air carries that clean, salty scent that always seems to quiet the mind a little. Waves brush against the shore far below, not crashing, just murmuring in a slow, steady rhythm. You've come here to let something go, not to solve anything, just to breathe. A soft wind moves through the seagrass beside the path, and you follow it without thinking too much. The trail curves gently downward toward a little village tucked between low hills and the sea. Lanterns are already beginning to glow in the windows of the few scattered cottages. Golden light spills out onto stone paths and wooden porches. It feels like the whole place has been waiting quietly for evening. You walk slowly, your footsteps almost silent on the packed earth. The tension you carried from the day starts to loosen in your shoulders, though you haven't even noticed it happening yet. The sea is always on your right, dark blue turning to silver where the moon begins to rise. Everything here moves at its own gentle pace. Eventually, the path brings you to a small wooden gate. Beyond it sits a modest lighthouse, its white tower weathered by years of salt and wind. A warm light shines from the keeper's cottage at its base. You pause, feeling strangely welcome, even though this is the first time you've ever stood here. An older man steps out onto the porch. He's tall, but slightly stooped, with a thick sweater the color of driftwood and a calm face lined by decades of smiling at the sea. His eyes catch yours, and he gives a small nod, like he's been expecting you. "Evening," he says, voice low and easy. You found your way to the lantern house. You nod, not quite sure what to say. He doesn't press. Instead, he gestures toward a weathered bench on the porch. "Sit a spell if you like. Nights like this are better shared." You settle onto the bench. The wood is smooth from years of use, still holding a little of the day's warmth. The lantern keeper, Elias, he tells you, eases down beside you. For a while, you both just listen to the sea. No need to fill the quiet. He speaks after some time, words coming slow and thoughtful. "I'm the last one now. Used to be 3 keepers here when I was young. Now it's just me and the lanterns. But the sea still needs its lights. And sometimes folks like you find their way here when their minds won't settle." You feel the truth of that in your chest. The endless thoughts that chase each other during the day seem further away already, like the tide pulling them gently out to sea. Elias stands after a moment and motions for you to follow. "Come on, I'll show you the evening rounds. Nothing hurried about it." You walk with him along a stone path that winds around the base of the lighthouse. The beam from the tower sweeps slowly overhead, painting the night in soft arcs of light. It doesn't feel like a warning. It feels like a promise that someone is still watching over the water. The air grows cooler as you near the shore. You slip off your shoes and carry them, letting your feet sink into cool, damp sand. Tiny grains shift between your toes with every step, The waves roll in lazy and low, leaving thin lines of foam that glow faintly under the moonlight. Elias carries a small lantern in his hand. Its flame flickers softly behind thick glass. He stops every so often to check the smaller lanterns placed along the rocky edge of the cove. Each one is simple, brass and glass, with handles worn smooth. He trims a wick here, adjusts a flame there, movements practiced and peaceful. You stand nearby, breathing in the salt air. It smells like minerals and distant rain. The sound of the waves fills the spaces between thoughts, smoothing them out like stones tumbled in the surf. After the last lantern is tended, Elias leads you back toward the cottage. Inside, the space is small and full of quiet comfort. A fire crackles low in the hearth, casting dancing shadows across bookshelves lined with old journals and sea charts. A kettle steams gently on the stove. Tea, he offers. You accept, and the two of you sit in comfortable chairs by the window that overlooks the water. The tea is warm and slightly herbal, tasting of chamomile and something faintly sweet. You hold the mug in both hands, letting the heat travel through your palms. Elias doesn't talk much. When he does, his stories come gentle and without urgency. I've watched this sea for 48 years, he says softly. Seen every kind of weather. But the quiet nights are the ones that stay with you. Nights when the stars come down so close, you feel like you could reach up and touch them. You glance out the window. The sky is clear tonight, scattered with countless points of light. The lighthouse beam sweeps across them, never disturbing their peace. After some time, Elias shows you to a small guest room at the back of the cottage. It's simple, but deeply inviting. A soft bed with thick blankets the color of ocean fog. A single window looking out toward the dark water. A small lantern glowing on the bedside table. Stay as long as the night lasts, he says with a kind smile. The sea will keep its own time. He leaves you with the quiet. You sit on the edge of the bed for a while, listening. The waves are always there, a constant low hush. You change into comfortable clothes and slip beneath the blankets. They're heavy in the most comforting way, pressing you gently into the mattress. For a time, you simply lie there, eyes open, watching the soft flicker of the lantern flame. Shadows move slowly across the wooden ceiling beams. Your thoughts, which usually race and tangle, begin to drift apart like clouds on a calm day. You think about the path that brought you here, the way the seagrass moved, the warmth of the bench, the patient way Elias tended each lantern, as if every small light mattered. Outside, the tide is coming in, slow and steady. You can hear it reaching higher on the shore, then retreating with a soft sigh. The rhythm sinks into your body, Your breathing begins to match it without effort. In and out. The room feels warmer now, safer, like the whole world has narrowed down to this one peaceful corner by the sea. You turn onto your side, facing the window. The lighthouse beam passes every few seconds, painting the room in the gentlest glow before moving on. It's like a lullaby made of light. Your mind wanders to the little lanterns along the cove, how they shine for ships that may never come, for sailors who may never know they're there. There's something beautiful about that kind of quiet service, something that doesn't ask for thanks. You feel your shoulders sink deeper into the bed. The weight of the day, the week, the constant thinking, it's all loosening now, like knots in a rope left in warm water. Elias is probably out on the porch again, listening to the same sea. You imagine him smiling softly at the night, content with his small part in it all. The blankets feel heavier. Your eyelids grow pleasantly tired. The sound of the waves continues, never changing, never demanding anything from you. You notice how the air in the room smells faintly of wood smoke and salt, how the pillow cradles your head perfectly, how your hands have grown still and warm beneath the covers. Another sweep of the lighthouse beam, another gentle breath. Thoughts come slower now. They arrive like visitors who don't plan to stay long. You watch them pass without needing to hold on to any of them. There's no rush here, no need to figure anything out tonight. The sea keeps its rhythm. Your body feels heavier, more relaxed with every passing minute. The gentle hiss of waves on sand, the occasional soft creak of the old cottage settling, the faint, faraway call of a night bird over the water. Everything is exactly as it should be. You let your eyes close for a longer moment. When you open them again, the lantern on the table has burned a little lower. Its light is even softer now, more golden. You smile faintly, barely a movement of your lips. This place feels like a secret the world kept just for nights like tonight. A quiet harbor for overthinking minds. A gentle reminder that it's okay to simply be. The blankets wrap around you like an old friend. Your breathing has grown deeper, slower. The tension that lived in your jaw, your neck, your chest, it has melted away into the night. Outside, the last lantern keeper continues his quiet watch. Inside, you drift further from waking thoughts. The sea whispers. The stars keep their places. The lighthouse sends its beam across the dark water, steady and kind. You feel yourself sinking gently, comfortably into the deepest kind of rest. Not because you're trying, just because the night has invited you and you finally said yes.
The waves roll in, roll out, and you rest. You rest. The lantern light grows dimmer in your awareness, becoming part of the background of sleep. The sound of the sea softens into a distant, loving hush. Your body feels wonderfully heavy, wonderfully safe. There is nothing left to solve, nowhere else to be. Just this moment, just this breath, just this peaceful cottage by the endless, whispering sea. Sleep comes easy here, the way it was always meant to. Slow, natural, deep. And you let it carry you. The night holds you gently. The sea sings its quiet song. And all is well.